And as you lie down, I know some of you are coming into the room, there's no rush, So as you lie down onto your backs, and if you've taken my classes, a lot of times I start different ways, but right now I feel like grounding is so important. I'm going to give you a nice strong flow, and please take breaks, and I'm going to give you modifications and variations for what you need. Okay, so as you lie onto your backs and come into simple Shavasana, if that works for you, legs gently roll open, palms towards the sky, and just taking this opportunity to get still, to tune in, to maybe close your eyes. And I know our minds, that's just part of the human condition at times, but right now, maybe more than ever. So perhaps place your hand to your belly, into your heart, and direct some of that breath and that energy into that instinct, that intuition, that heart space. And let's take a deep collective breath together. Inhale, fill yourself up to the very top of that breath. And as you exhale, let it go through the mouth and just start to clear it all out. And again, deep breath into your lower belly, to the sides of your ribs, between your shoulder blades, that full deep breath, and hold it for a moment. And as you exhale, let it go through the mouth and just start to clear it out. Empty out completely. And from the base of your pelvis, inhale, take a full deep breath to the very top. And we're going to hold it just for a couple beats, pause. And then as you exhale, let that breath slowly glide out, empty it out completely, and pause at the base of the exhale. And then again, inhale, full deep breath to the very top. Pause, feel that fullness, that completion. Exhale, let it clear, let it cleanse as you release that exhale all the way out, and pause at the base of your exhale. And everyone's just start to tune into your breath. So it's not just the inhales and the exhales, it's those little pauses in between. So yoga asks us to slow down at times, to tune in. Things are being broken open in a very different way right now, and I think different than maybe any of us have ever experienced. So as we break things open, there's also possibility for new pathways, so that we don't let fear lead. We attune and understand fear, but we also attune to what our truth is, to hold our center and take a moment to ground, to tune in to what you feel, what you're connecting with, to listen. And as you listen inward, perhaps you invite intention, sankalpa, for your practice. It's a very individual journey. Let's take a deep breath. Inhale, fill yourself up to the very, very top and hold it for a moment. Exhale, and let it slowly glide out. And then most of you are on your backs, obviously, reach your arms overhead and lengthen your legs. Take a nice long stretch it out. Yeah. And then sweep your arms around, hug your knees, give them a little squeeze into your chest. And then start to rock up and down a few times. And you'll make your way into any comfortable seated position. So there's something really powerful as I read your names, and some of you I know and some of you I don't. I know we're sitting in very different places of the world, and we are physically distant from each other, but we are not socially distant. We have this to connect, to commune, and to tune to our own truth. So as we sit tall together, lift through the crown of the head, place your hands right at your heart center. Keep your eyes open or closed. It's a very personal decision, personal choice. And as you set your intention, together we offer it out with an Om. Take a full deep breath. And as you release your hands and gently open your eyes, we're going to make our way to the hands and knees. And we're going to prepare for a cat-cow. It's a little bit different than how I do it usually. So your hands are slightly forward of your shoulders, fingers are spread, toes are actually tucked under. So as you inhale, you'll lengthen your upper spine, a little tilt in the sit bones. As you exhale, you'll round into that cat position, sit back into a modified child's pose with your toes tucked under. And as you inhale, come forward, lengthen your upper spine, tilt the sit bones up. As you exhale, scoop the belly round between the shoulder blades, sit back into that extended child's pose, stretching out the toes and the feet. Inhale, shift forward, lengthen your upper spine. Exhale, scoop the belly and round, sit back into your heels, stretching into the shoulders. And then slowly come back to the hands and knees. Keep the toes tucked under and start to lift and come into that first downward facing dog. So I know some of you are just getting up. So pedal out the backs of your legs. And as you pedal out the backs of your legs, start to open up your hamstrings and your calves tight. And then take a little time as you check in. How does your body feel this morning or this afternoon? So we really want to attune to that. That's our truth, satya, right? So when we listen to that truth, we do no harm. That's why it's really important to slow down into those pauses in between. All right, and so from here, let the heels drop down. No worries if the heels ever reach the floor. Lift the forearms away from the mat. Those are your counter actions, my YogaWorks people. And as you inhale, come forward to plank pose, come to the top of the push-up. Knees can drop or not. You'll start to lower. Remember, shoulders only go to elbow height in your chaturanga. Come back up to your plank pose, downward facing dog. And then we'll do that again. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. Some of you may need to drop your knees and lift your feet. You're only going to lower halfway down. Straighten the arms, tuck the toes, lift the knees. If you drop them, downward facing dog. I'm going to do one more like that. Inhale, come forward, lower down through chaturanga, and drop all the way down into your bellies. Now, as you do this, uncurl your toes, keep your hands by your shoulders for Cobra. And as you inhale, start to lift the chest, draw the shoulder blades down the back. Collarbones are nice and broad. Exhale, start to roll on down. Let's do that again. Inhale. So we'll move some breath and energy into that upper spine. Relax your shoulders. Exhale, come on down. Now stay with Cobra or walk the hands back so elbows are stacked above wrists. And as you inhale, you lift into that up dog or that Cobra. And as you exhale, you're going to actually roll back down. Slide yourself back a little bit so you're in Sphinx Pose. Your forearms are parallel, collarbones are broad, all 10 toes pressing down. Move the chest gently through the gateway of the arms. Yeah, and then stay here. Tuck your toes, press your heels back so your kneecaps lift, and then come up into plank pose on your forearms. Now, as you come into plank pose on your forearms, we're going to stay here for a couple. You guys are, but not me. You're going to stay here a couple more breaths. Not a long one. Yeah. And then you're going to come into dolphin. So you can either interlace your fingers or keep your forearms parallel. Walk your feet forward as if you're doing down dog, but you're on your forearms. So you're opening up the shoulders a little bit more. And sometimes you need to bend your knees if your hamstrings are a little tight. So do that. Put a little bend in your knees and really lengthen your upper spine. And then maybe start to let the heels descend. And then however you want to make your way, come back into downward facing dog. And then from that down dog, walk your hands back and let's all take a forward fold with Tadasana. Bend your knees, hold the opposing elbow, and just kind of sway side to side. I know that's one of my favorite parts of my practice in the beginning, is just kind of let everything just be as it is. So then we go through the asanas and we're working the alignment. We're really not trying to control the pose. We're really working into our truth levels. Where we need to strengthen, where we maybe need to back off and let some space happen. So it's all such a very personal journey, and the poses will reveal what we need to see, our blind spots, so that we're more awake, we're more aware, we're more alive. So as you release your hands down to the mat, you're going to bend your knees into a modified chair. So when I say that, your torso is almost parallel to the mat, your thighs are as well, and then you're going to reach your arms forward, relax your toes, reach for the fingertips. So start to build a little bit of fire in the legs and the belly. Take one more deep breath. Now lay your torso over your thighs. Then start to straighten your legs. That is a healthier forward fold in your Uttanasana. As you inhale, come up halfway. Hands to hips with that long spine. Come all the way up to standing. And then everyone make your way to the front of your mat. I'm going to face you in mountain pose. So feet can either be hips distance or together. Spread your toes. And if you've taken my class, I'm always on toe grip. Watch, because I'm a toe gripper. So really spread your toes, root down. So you have the strong platform to lift up to the crown of the head, taking the hands to the heart. We're going to move through Surya Namaskara A. It is a beautiful, not only ritual of devotion, it reminds us no matter how dark life can get, and it can at times, there's always that light, there's always that sun. Come back to your truth, follow that light, work through the darkness. That's courage. So as you inhale, float the arms overhead. As you exhale, take your forward fold, Uttanasana. As you inhale, lengthen your upper spine. Bend your knees, plant your palms, step dog. And then everyone just pause in that down dog. Hi, I'm just checking. Oh, hi, Danny. I just love seeing all these people coming on. I love it. Okay, guys, so the palms are rooted and the forearms are lifting and the spine is lengthening. So as you inhale, stretch it way back. At the end of the breath, looking forward, bend your knees. You can step or hop. And as you inhale, come up halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, press down, reach towards the sky. Exhale, hands right to the heart. And let's do that again. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, taking that forward fold, hinge the pelvis over the thighs. Inhale, lengthen your upper spine. Plant your palms, step or jump lightly, chaturanga or to your belly. As you inhale, you coil into that upper spine. And as you exhale, you lift your hips, downward facing dog. And let's pause for a couple breaths, probably about 3. Just like the breathing that you did at the very beginning. If it starts to rush and speed up, can you keep it slow and rhythmic, that deep diaphragmatic breath? It's rich and it's nourishing, even when it starts to become a little more challenging. Like that's that awareness, that consciousness. So as you inhale, stretch it way back. At the end of the breath, looking forward, bend your knees, step or jump lightly to the front of your mat. And as you inhale, you lengthen that upper spine, and then as you exhale, you fold. Inhale, root down, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands right to the heart. And everyone just take one more round on your own. Just move with your breath, your rhythm. We'll all meet together in downward facing dog. So I know I can't see you, but I do know from all the years of teaching that we all move at different rhythms. So as much as I lead you or any teacher leads you, I think what we all learn through yoga, let's all meet down dog when you're there, is that at the end of the day, we have to trust our inner knowing, our inner guide. We're all here incarnated for a different reason or different purpose. And to remember that we're all in this together, I think we know that as yogis. All right, and what we're all experiencing is something different at this point, but we have this space, the sacred space to support each other. So from that down dog, you're gonna inhale, float your right leg up, so you're in that 3-legged dog. Externally rotate your right thigh in the hip socket. I think most of you know that. You like kind of do that little circle. It's just kind of nice to wake up that ball and socket joint. Shift forward to plank pose. So bring your right knee to your right tricep. Keep it lifted. As you inhale, go back into 3-legged dog. Square your hips. Now again, shift forward to plank pose. Bring your right knee to your left tricep. Use those obliques. Give it a twist. And as you inhale, go back into that 3-legged dog. And as you exhale, step your foot all the way through between your hands. Now, everyone move your right foot to the right and your left foot to the left, so your feet are hips distance. Place the outer edge of your back foot down at a very sharp angle, and then hug that right hip in. As you inhale, slowly come up into Virabhadrasana 1. So it's not going to be a hold, but do get the left thigh to wrap forward. Interlace everything with the index and the thumb. Start to bend your elbows and bring the index fingers towards the nape of the neck. So you're opening up the shoulders. Now, if you puff your ribs like I'm doing, just try and soften them down, that lower thoracic wheel. That's it. And then slowly start to straighten your arms. Press the palms and maybe look up. Exhale, take the hands to the mat. Step your right foot back and lower. Inhale, this takes you into your up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from that down dog, inhale, float your left leg up behind you. Externally rotate that thigh. Do that little circle. Maybe bend your knee. Feels really good, usually. And then shift forward to plank pose. Bring your left knee to your left tricep. So you keep that leg externally rotated. And then inhale, let's go back into that 3-legged dog. Square your hips off. Shift forward to plank pose and bring your left knee to your right tricep. So you give it a little twist. And then as you inhale, go back into that 3-legged dog. As you exhale, step your foot through between your hands. Move your left foot to the left and the right foot to the right. Place the outer edge of your back foot down on that sharp angle. And as you inhale, come right up into Virabhadrasana Warrior 1. Trying to get that right thigh to rotate forward. Wrapping your inner right thigh back. As you bend your front leg, don't lose the connection of the outer edge of your right foot. That's your truth level, so don't collapse. Keep the integrity of the shape. Yeah, and then interlace everything with the index and the thumb. Start to bend your elbows. So wrap the triceps forward, but soften the floaty ribs down. And then as you straighten your arms, maybe release now and look up, palms press. Exhale, take your hands to the mat. Step your left foot back, lower down, chaturanga or to your belly. Inhale will take you into your back bend of choice, up dog or cobra. Exhale will take you into your forward fold, which is Tadasana, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath through the nose, and you guys just let it go through the mouth. Clear it all out. Yeah. So we're going to put that together. We're going to do Surya Namaskar B. I know a lot of you are used to it. It's a beautiful flow. We get to flow, follow our own truth together. All right. So as you inhale, stretch it back. At the end of the breath, looking forward, step or jump to the front of the mat. And as you inhale, come up halfway. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees. Now sit down into that traditional chair, Utkatasana. Right here, try not to arch nor tuck. Find where your center, your truth is as you sit a little deeper. Take one more breath and rise all the way up to standing. Reach towards the sky. Gather all that energy at your heart. Anjali Mudra. So you guys, let's stand here for a moment in Tadasana, in mountain pose. The more I practice, the longer I practice, I love simplicity. It grounds me and it roots me. So we take this moment, wherever you are, to drop into what you need to ground and root yourself. So that we trust our inner knowing, we trust our intuition, we return to our center. And from that place, we move together, Surya Namaskar. Inhale, bend your knees, sit down into that chair, Utkatasana. Like we did before, shift your pelvis over your thighs, then straighten your legs. Inhale, lengthen your upper spine. Bend your knees, step or jump lightly, make your way. Inhale will take you into your upward facing dog. Exhale will take you into down dog. Step your right foot to the front of the mat, place your left foot down for warrior one. Inhale, the breath will bring you up to the very top. And as you exhale like a wave, hands come down, step back, lower to Chaturanga. And as you inhale, you come into that up dog. Exhale will take you into down dog. End of breath. Left foot forward, right foot roots. Inhale, one breath to the very top. And as you exhale, take your hands to the mat. Step your left foot back, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale, of course, modify as much as you need to. Exhale, downward facing dog. So take a few moments in this down dog. And of course, if you need a child's pose, just rest. You can always take a break. I pretty much say that every class, every level that I teach. Doing everything is not the goal. Trusting what you need is the direction. Yeah? So from that facing dog, you're going to step your right foot to the front of the mat. As you inhale, you're going to come up into Virabhadrasana 1. You'll take your hands to your heart. You'll move your right foot to the left. You'll line up heel to arch. The back foot will not rotate as much, right? You're externally rotating that right thigh. Start to reach your arms up and out and come into warrior 2, right? So think of rolling the outer right buttock under so that the knee tracks over the second, third toe. Draw the root of the left thigh bone back, a little lift to the front of the pelvis. Draw your left ribs back. There's a tiny little twist in your upper torso as you continue to reach out for the arms. Now you guys try not to pinch your shoulder blades. Spread your wings. Let them help support your arms. And then we pause. I like to hold poses for a little while. So do your best to stay in it unless it is injurious. Of course, you come out of it. Right? So this strengthens not only just our physical body, it strengthens our mind, connection to our breath, to slow down and tune in. What does courage mean to you at this moment? And then from that warrior 2, you will flip your right palm, reverse your warrior. As you come back, shift forward, bring your right forearm onto that right thigh, left arm up, externally rotate that left arm like you do in down dog. Now, so you have this beautiful long angle, Ardha Konasana. Stay here. If you want, you can take your hand to the outside of the foot. Some of you may have bricks or blocks. Use them if you need them. If you don't, keep the forearm here. So a lot of ways to modify. So side angle pose, grounding down through the outer edge of that back foot. Your left hip is slightly rotated so your sacrum is happy. A little connection of your front ribs to your frontal hip bones. And as you continue to reach up through that left arm, can you wrap your bottom ribs forward? Nice. All right, reach your left arm up towards the sky. As you inhale, return to warrior 2. Flip that right palm, reverse your warrior, and then circle the arms up and over, spin to the ball of your left foot. Step your right foot back, yogi's choice, either straight into down dog or through that vinyasa. So if you're continuing the vinyasa, go ahead and of course keep it mindful, keep it honest, right? So that we don't create funky patterns, and sometimes we do. We just have to clean them up. Yeah, when we keep following our truth, then we get to clean up those patterns so that new pathways can open. At the end of the breath, you're going to step your left foot to the front of the mat. And as you inhale, you'll come up into warrior 1. Take your hands to your heart, move your left foot to the center of the mat. You'll have to shift your right foot a bit, heel to arch. Your back foot and your back hip are only rotated about 15 degrees, more or less. And as you bend, try not to tilt the pelvis. Lift the front of the pelvis up. Soften the ribs, draw the right ribs gently back, reach the arms out so that you reach those arms in opposition, but finding that center. And classically, your drishti is out over your left fingertips. But you're welcome, close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart or your belly. There is not a right or wrong way to practice. We do want to align our bodies healthily so we know our truth levels. And we can tune in and we feel supported. And then staying in your legs, you're going to flip that left palm, reverse your warrior, hinge, bring your left forearm onto that left thigh. Right arm up, spin the palm, and like you're scooping water overhead, Trikonasana, side angle. So you either stay here, if you want to take your hand to the outside of the foot, which is the classical shape, and do that. And as the right foot is rooting, I always feel this beautiful long line of energy. Right? Notice where it feels kinky and tight and stuck. That's going to happen. But if we take our awareness there and we unkink those places, our blind spots allow us to be more aware and awake so that we're more present, we're more dialed in. That is such the gift of this practice. Tune into your truth. And then reach your right arm up towards the sky. And as you inhale, you'll return to that warrior two. Flip your left palm, reverse your warrior, and then circle the arms up and over, hands to the mat. Step back, down dog, or through your vinyasa. Okay. And once you arrive in down dog, I'm a fan of lion's breath, and especially, I'm doing it all the time right now. So you can or cannot, it's up to you. Take a deep breath through the nose, let it go through the mouth, and just clear out tension in the jaw, the face, the eyes. And then everyone come down to your hands and your knees. So stack your shoulders right above your wrists. Yeah? You're going to extend your left leg behind you, lift it to the height of the hip, and reach your right arm forward. Palm faces in. We're going to make this fluid. So take a deep breath. As you exhale, curl into this little cat's breath. As you inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, curl it all in. Now again, extend and lengthen, hold. Bend your knee, sole of the left foot towards the sky. If you can, reach around and take a hold of your ankle or the top of the foot. Press the shin bone back to open up into that upper spine. Look down at your left hand. Yeah? So press down through the thumb and the index finger so you're not hyperextending your elbow. Take one more deep breath. Release the foot, the ankle, extend in that opposition, and place your hand on your knee and shin onto the mat. And then second side, extend your right leg behind you, extend that left arm forward. Take a deep breath. Exhale, curl it all in. Extend and lengthen. Oops. Exhale, curl it all in. Inhale, extend and lengthen and pause. Start to bend your knees, sole of the foot towards the sky. Left arm reaches around, holding your ankle to the top of the foot. Press the shin bone back to open the chest. Watch the hyperextension in your right elbow. Press down through the thumb and the index finger. Turn your biceps on. Okay. Take one more deep breath. Release, extend in that opposition from the pit of the belly, and then take your hand and your knee and shin down. So just take a few minutes here. It usually feels pretty. Maybe some cat-cows, really fluid. And if you're circling, just circle in the opposite direction. And just start to massage those areas that feel sensitive, that are tender. Right? So we bring that this practice is nourishing. And then come to tabletop. You'll walk your hands forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips, and return to that downward facing dog. And one thing I just want to say about down dog too is, I know most of you know this, firm your triceps. Make sure that your upper arms are in line with your ears more or less, right? Don't let your head dump. That's not going to be good for your shoulders. Draw the front ribs in that down dog. And then at the end of the breath, you're going to step your right foot to the front of the mat. You're going to do the same thing. Leg, turn your right leg in. Feet are totally parallel. So we're taking Prasarita Padottanasana with Gomukhasana arms. So I like to reach my left arm behind my back first, and then reach that right arm overhead. Bend your elbow and clasp your fingers. Use a strap or a towel. Take a deep breath. Lift your kneecaps and quads. Exhale and start to hinge. Remember the hinging of the pelvis so that we protect the lower back. Yeah, and as you take this forward fold, everyone look at your feet. Make sure your toes are spread. That's really important. Hug your outer ankles in so you have the stability. And you feel the strength in your legs to support you as you open into the areas of the shoulders. Mine tend to be tight, so we just go where we need to. And as you inhale, you'll slowly come back up. Now keep your hands as they are. Turn your right leg out from deep in the hip socket. Take your back foot, rotate it forward about 10, 15 degrees, heel to arch alignment. Take a deep breath. Get your pelvis to hinge. We're coming into Trikonasana and pause. Yeah, and as you get that right hip to hug under, seal the outer edge of your left foot, extending your bottom ribs. And then as you release your hands, reach your right arm forward, and then take your hand to the outside of your shin, maybe the floor. If you have a block, you can always use that. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. So in this triangle pose, least resistance. So we got to strengthen those areas. Put a tiny little bend in your right knee and press down on the ball of your right foot. Then if you can, straighten your right leg, but press your calf to shin. And then externally rotate your left arm, sweep the arm overhead. If you want a little more challenge, reach your right arm up to join your left. This is where a lot of us can hyperextend the right knee, so calf to shin. Yep, so everything stays engaged. And again, it's not micromanaging the pose. It's finding the strength and stability, to find the space and the ease, to find the truth of what we really need. Take your right hand down, reach your left arm up towards the sky. Now we're going to take this into balance. Start to look down. Right hip hugs under. You'll slowly step forward and up as you come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Now, from here, you either stay. Some of you can bend your knee if you want and take a hold of the top of the foot or the ankle and take your Shavasana. Right? It depends on where you are today. I've been getting a lot of comments that people are feeling wobbly. Yep, it's a wobbly time. So be gentle with yourself. It doesn't matter if you wobble or fall. I wobble and fall all the time. It's just how we recover. It's how we, the resilience to not give up, just to keep practicing no matter what. If you're in Shavasana, release the foot, reach your left arm up towards the sky. Reach with that left heel. And we're going to take our time to find warrior two. Start to bend your right leg. Reach with that left foot, step back. Once you find that strong, stable pose, anchor it, solidify it, flip the right palm, then reverse your warrior, and then circle the arms up and over, hands down, step it back, down dog or Vinyasa. Okay. And then once you arrive in that down dog, step your left foot to the front of the mat. As you inhale, come up into warrior one. And then the same thing, take your hands to your heart, open up and find your warrior two. Then you'll straighten your left leg, turn your left leg in so the feet are parallel. Okay, so I'm not going to mirror you on this time. So the right arm should go behind the back. Yeah, if you didn't do it that way. And then the left arm reaches overhead. This is my type way. And then clasp your fingers, use that strap if you have it, and take a deep breath and start to hinge the pelvis as you take that forward fold with Gomukhasana arms. Now, if it's not working for you, consider using a towel. Hold whatever you can. Broaden across that right collarbone, wrap that left tricep forward. Remember the strength of your legs to support you. And then as you inhale, you'll slowly come back up. Keep your hands, your arms as they are. Externally rotate that left leg. Spin your back foot and your back hips in about 10 to 15 degrees. Then start to hinge your pelvis towards Trikonasana. Yeah? And then reach your left arm forward and your right arm behind you. Keep reaching. Then your hand will come down up towards the sky. You do let your right hip slightly rotate. We're not squaring the hips. Connect your front ribs to your frontal hip bones. Keep the chest nice and open. Anchor yourself in the shape. And as you hold the shape, you're going to externally rotate your right arm and sweep your arm overhead. Oh my goodness, I love it. All over the world. And if you want a little more intensity, take your left hand up and you're going to connect your front ribs to your frontal hip bones. That really helps stabilize. Because you're going to need that when we go into balance. So left hand down, right arm up. Start to look down. Bend your left leg. Step forward. Bring your left hand a little to the left. It really does help. Lift your right leg up. Open up your chest. Come into your Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon. That left foot is Tadasana. That's why we say it always goes back to Tadasana. Sometimes we have to go back to basics. Sometimes you have to relearn new patterns. This is a time of stripping away a lot of things to relearn some simplicity, to really relish that as well. So as you press down on that left foot, lift through the standing leg, tailbone. You maybe want to bend your knee, yeah, and take a hold of the top of the foot to do your Shavasana. Maybe fall down. If you don't, it's not about the outcome, it's the journey. Breath. All right. All right, from here, you guys release the foot, reach your right arm up towards the sky. You're gonna step back to warrior two. So bend your left leg, and as you step back, take your time, and we anchor the shape. Flip your left palm, reverse your warrior, and then circle the arms up and over, hands to the mat. Step it back, down dog, or through your vinyasa. All right. And then once you arrive in that down dog, just start to walk your hands back for a moment. Come into that forward fold. You guys, let's take Tadasana to give the hands a little love. So take your hands, which are your hastas, underneath your feet. You might need to bend your knees, and maybe you can straighten your legs, relax the head. It's such a great way to get a stretch. We're in wrist extension a lot. Now we get to go into that wrist flexion. Stretch your forearms, relax. You can close your eyes. And then slowly release your hands. Walk them forward. You're going to return into that downward facing dog. Now we're going to shift into Shavasana. So you're going to shift forward to plank pose. And then center your left hand. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. So stack your shoulder above your wrists. Yeah? Right hip comes slightly forward and reach the right arm up towards the sky. You can always kickstand your right foot forward. Some of you can hook the toe and take Vashi too. It really depends on what you need today. If you want to skip it, take child's pose. Take a little break. And if you have Vashi two, release the toe. Everyone come down onto your right hand. Center your right hand. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. And then start to reach the left arm up. Kickstand the left foot forward. Maybe hook the toe and come into Vashi two. Remember what we did earlier. You don't want to hyperextend your elbows, so turn your bicep on. So you have a strong foundation that will support you. And if you have the toe, release it. Everyone come back into plank pose. Yogi's choice. Choose what you need, what's your truth. Straight to down dog or through the vinyasa. And then once you arrive in that down dog, just take a moment, take a deep breath, let it go through the mouth, clear it out. And then at the end of the breath, you're going to step your right foot to the front of the mat. Okay, so you're going to stay on the ball of your back foot. Slowly come up into a crescent pose. Yeah, but you're going to bend in your back knee and straighten that back leg strongly. And then straighten your front leg, lift up through the pelvic floor, that mula bandha. So there's a lifting action through the crown of the head. And there's a containment, but it's not just control, it's just finding that containment for support. And then rebend that right leg. Start to lean out over that right thigh. Hug your right hip in and slowly step up, lifting your left leg from its inner thigh. Hug this right hip in and slowly start to straighten that right leg as you come into warrior three. Warrior three is, I think, harder than obviously half moon because it's a neutrally rotated pose. So keep dropping that left hip down. Lengthen your tailbone and reach your sternum forward. Be courageous enough to stay in the truth of your shape. Stay committed to being in the process. Let the process teach you. This is the healing part of yoga. It brings to the surface what we need to see, what we need to feel, what we need to attune to. And you're going to put a little bend in your right knee, and you're going to come all the way up to standing, and you'll reach your left leg out in front of you, reach your arms towards the sky. You'll take your left leg on top and your left arm, so I am going to mirror your left arm underneath, Eagle Garvasana. You can either stay upright, you can also start to fold and scoop the belly and stretch between your shoulder blades. Finding your eagle. Yeah, it's another beautiful metaphor. Open it. We're moving into a whole new paradigm. The reality that we knew is shifting to something different. So we take this time to tune in, to find the strength and the truth that will help forward, connected, grounded. And then slowly as you start to come back up, let your eagle fly away, arms to the sky, straighten your right leg, reach your left leg out in front of you, and then lower the left foot down, hands right to the heart. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, take that forward fold. And as you inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, down dog or through your vinyasa. And then once you arrive in that down dog, you'll step your left foot to the front of the mat. Stay on the ball of your back foot. Inhale, come on up into a crescent. And then take your hands to your hips. Put a little bend in your back knee. And really straighten that back leg and lift your frontal hip bones up to feel that stretch. Now start to straighten your left leg. Lift through the pelvic floor. Soften the ribs in so you feel that strength. Then you're going to rebend that left leg and start to lean forward, hugging the left hip in. I like to keep my hands on my hips to begin with. So as you lift, don't hike that right hip up or fall down like that. Drop your right hip down and firm the left hip. Start to straighten the left leg and then reach your arms behind you to your heart or forward. Right? So it is a challenging pose. It's meant to challenge us. It's meant to bring things to the surface that is saying, what can you strengthen? Can you maybe soften? What's your truth? Tune in. Don't over-attach to the outcome, just be in the process. So these poses, warrior, courage, bravery. Yeah. And then slowly you'll put a little bend in your left leg. You will come up to standing, reaching your arms toward the sky. And you'll take your right arm underneath and your right leg over as you sit down into your Tadasana. You can either stay upright or start to fold. Yeah, whatever you need. And same thing, you're folding in on yourself. Taking this time. Sometimes in the past paradigm, we have been taught, conditioned that our source, our worth is outside of us. And yoga keeps reminding us in very powerful ways that your source is within you. Stay in and cultivate that strength and truth from inside. And then slowly as you come up, you'll let it all unfold. Reach the arms towards the sky. Reach that right leg out in front of you. Bring the foot down to the mat. Take your hands to your heart. And then you're going to bend your knees, sit down into that chair again. Hands to prayer. Take a deep breath. You will twist towards the right. And as you twist, left elbow can come between your thighs for some of you. Many of you out. Thumbs to the heart. Maybe second stage. And we'll be in this twist just a few breaths, not a long time. So with every breath, try not to force or make the pose happen. Remember that breath. Let it lead. Find those little spaces and those turnovers in between. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, come back to chair pose. Stay in chair if you can. Take your hands to your heart. Take another deep breath and then twist towards the left. And as you twist towards the left, you will hook that right elbow or tricep in any stage with your arms. And as you move through the twists and turns of life, these twists remind us what we're strengthening, what we need to create space for. To allow our breath to lead, so we're not imposing on the pose. We're in the process of discovery. Take one more deep breath. And as you exhale, unwind, forward, fold. Make a hook with your first two fingers. Hold the big toes and close the hook with the thumbs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, crown of the head towards the floor, Chandrasana. Try and lift your shoulder heads away. Spread your shoulder blades and take this forward fold to calm the nervous system, cool things down. Notice if the breath has gotten a little choppy. And then as you inhale, you'll start to come up halfway. Exhale, hands to hips, come all the way up to standing. Okay, so we're going to do a little sequence that's going to flow. I'm not going to demonstrate it, just do your best to follow along. Okay, so make sure you're at the front of the mat. You're going to stand on your right foot, stand on the right. Bend your left leg and hold your left near shin. For some of you, that's as far as you're going to go. Some of you may hook the toe and extend the left leg, maybe bent knee, maybe all the way straight. Tadasana, Padangusthasana. It's not going to be a long hold. Then as you release the toe, reach your arms toward the sky, lower the left leg and left arm down, and you'll start to catch that ankle or foot. Stand tall. You'll start to shift forward into a version of Chandrasana, King Dancer. Ball may be in the way. Your right hip will hug in. You'll start to open the pelvis and bring your right hand down and come into Ardha Chandrasana, Shavasana. You'll slowly release the left foot, and then you'll bend your right leg and step back and find warrior two. Flip your right palm, reverse the warrior. This time take hand to the inside of your right foot or your ankle, left arm up towards the sky. Sweep the arm behind your back. If you can, hand to the inside of that right thigh to get that rotation. Either stay here. If you want to take full bind, you can, but I'm a big full bind fan, so I like to stay in half bind. So you stay where you need to. Just a couple more breaths. Again, it's not a long hold. And then right hand down, left arm up towards the sky. Inhale, come back into warrior two. Flip your palm, reverse your warrior. Circle the arms up and over, pause, come to the ball of your left foot. Now step all the way forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, sit down into your chair, rise up to standing. How'd that go? Let's do the second side. So stand on the left foot, hold your right knee or shin. Let that right hip drop down. This is plenty. Some of you can hook the toe, maybe straighten the leg a little bit. Thighs stationary, pelvis will start to shift as you bring your hand down into Ardha Chandrasana with that Shavasana variation. And then release the foot. Start to bend your left leg, step back, and find that warrior two. And then once you find that warrior two, flip your left palm, reverse your warrior. Now hand will come to the inside of that left foot. Maybe hold your ankle, reach your right arm up, sweep your arm behind your back, take your half bind. Some of you take full bind if that's in your practice. A couple more breaths. Again, not a long hold. And then take your left hand down, reach your right arm up towards the sky. As you inhale, you'll return to that warrior two. Just pause. And then flip the left palm and then circle the arms up and over. This time, do step your left foot back and then make your way into down dog or through your vinyasa. All right. And then from that down dog, you're going to inhale, come forward to plank pose. Take your time, lower down all the way onto your belly. And as you lie down onto your belly, take a few moments, maybe turn your head, close your eyes if that feels good, and just take this opportunity, this pause to let things settle. I always feel sometimes my heart needs to slow down and tune into the heartbeat of the earth to feel that energy, that connection within. And then bring your forehead to the mat. So we're gonna do Shavasana, straight legs to begin with. So both of your legs are lying down. I'm gonna take your hands to your heels and start to lift. So this is such a great back strengthener. Try to stick your chin up. It's not good for your neck. Lengthen the back of the neck. Lengthen and lift. So it's really strengthening the shape. Take one more deep breath and then slowly come on down, release your hands and rest. Now, if you have lower back sensitivity or Dhanurasana bow pose does not work for you, stay with straight-legged Shavasana. If you want to take Dhanurasana, you'll bend both of your knees. We've already done this. Take a hold of the tops of the feet or the ankles. Here's the deal though. Don't turn your knees and thighs open. Keep them neutral. Turn your pelvic wheel on, frontal hip bones lift, and start to lift up as you press the shin bones back. So as you press the shin bones back, protect your lower back, keep that little lift here. Broaden across your collarbones to open the upper spine, wherever it's tight. Good, take one more deep breath. And then exhale, come on down, release whatever you have, turn your head and just pause for a moment. And then if you're really kind of cool and comfortable where you are, and you just want to hang out there, stay there. It's your truth. You got one more in you, either Shavasana or Dhanurasana. When you're ready, you're going to either bend your knees, hold the feet or ankles, straight legs, and then everyone inhale, come up into the back bend of your choice. I know some of you like to cross your arms or a different arm variation. That's also fine. So when you bring a little bit more strength into the legs, it really helps open up that thoracic spine. And take one more deep breath, and then as you exhale, slowly start to come on down. And then turn your head, maybe even close your eyes. If your neck bothers you, you can stack one hand on top of the other and rest your forehead in your hands. In these very uncertain, chaotic times, because they are, it can be very dysregulating to our nervous system. There's something very powerful about moving with our breath. Finding, I know I need some of the strength to clear out some of the tightness and maybe even sometimes the anxiousness, but that we can clear it out so we can ground and get connected. And then either taking your hands by your shoulders for Cobra or hands back. Inhale, you'll come into your up dog or that Cobra. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. So the final thing here before we start to wind it down, you can either rest in child's pose. If you have one more kind of strength-oriented posture, you'll come forward to plank pose. Center your left hand, roll to the outer edge of your left foot, so you'll come into Vashi. Maybe step your right foot behind you, press down on that left palm, and come into your version of Wild Thing. Remember a long time ago, not hyperextend the elbow. You want that strong support to open. Find that truth to create that space. Take one more deep breath, and then slowly compression of Vashi. Maybe it's with Wild Thing. And allowing that breath to just expand, open, find those little pauses in between. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, unwind, come back to your plank pose, yogi's choice. Straight into down dog or through that mindful vinyasa. And once you do make your way into down dog, just take a few moments. Separate your knees if that feels good and rest in child's pose. So that the thighs widen and you can really breathe into the backs of the shoulder blades and the backs of the lung. Forehead resting onto the mat or a prop if you need to. So we take some time to let things start to settle, to reconfigure. And slowly sitting back on your heels, roll your hips over to the side, extend your legs out in front of you. First into Tadasana, which is staff pose. So rolling your inner thighs towards the ground, feeling your two sit bones rooted onto the mat. You're also, if you have a blanket or a pillow or anything at home, you might need that for a little lift. So we're going to take Upavishta Konasana. So it's basically you take your thighs like in Prasarita and just go open them. So they don't have to be super wide, right? They can just go to where your edge is, right? We're not externally rotated. The thighs press down. Take a deep breath and start to take your forward fold. Now, it doesn't matter how far you fold. And if you need to do something different instead, feel free to do that. As you fold, you can rest your forehead in your hands. Maybe you rest your forehead on a block, whatever you need. So we're loosening up where we hold tightness. And that's why these postures require that we stay oftentimes beyond our comfort zone. And it's a very discerning practice because if there is injurious pain, we come out of it. That's not healthy. If it's discomfort because something's tight or resisting, we stay and we breathe through our resistance. And if we can breathe long enough, things will start to relax and we let go of our holding. And it's the idea of surrender. Surrender and let go of some of the patterns that hold, that keep us stuck in fear. That say I need to outsource my worth and when it's already inside of me. So we stay and we breathe and we attune to our truth. Drop in. And as you inhale, you'll slowly start to make your way up. Take your hands to the backs of your knees and gently draw your legs together. Give your knees a little squeeze into your chest. And then you'll extend your legs out in front of you and roll the inner thighs towards the ground. And as you inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, take a forward fold, Paschimottanasana. So you can bend your knees, relax your shoulders, find your edge. And stay in that forward fold. If you can't hold your feet, then just take your hands by your shins. No, that's fine. Just a few more breaths here. And then we're going to come onto our backs and come into resting pigeon pose. And of course, at home, if you want to do a different pigeon, feel free to do that. But this is really nice to just come down, cross your right ankle above your left knee, take your right hand through, and hold your hamstrings, shin. And feeling that really beautiful stretch into those hips, usually into the piriformis, into those external rotators. And we hold tightness in our hips for a lot of different reasons. I'm not going to go into all the reasons. And in the end, it doesn't really matter. It's there. And we're human. And life is full of challenges. And these challenges are part of our opportunity for growth. And sometimes we need a shift in perspective to clear out the fear voices of anxiety and worry, which are very normal, so that we can get to the truth and oftentimes the gift that lies on the other side. So just drop in and breathe. And slowly release your right side. And take your time, no rush. And bring your right foot onto the ground, cross your left ankle above your right knee, and start to move into that second side. And taking your left hand through, holding your hamstrings or your shin, feeling that lovely stretch on the left side. And one of the things you hear a lot in yoga and from a lot of your teachers, I'm sure, is effort and surrender. It almost seems like a paradox. I put all this effort out and then I just surrender. Really, it's just letting go of an attachment to what it looks like, to what the outcome is, and just let the journey be enough. Let it bring you home to your truth. Let it bring you back to source. So we breathe and we clear it out and we attune. And slowly release your right foot down, release that left side. Take your time, maybe hugging your knees into your chest. And as you hug your knees into your chest, maybe give them a little circle so you're massaging your lower back. And you give your knees a little circle the opposite way. And let's take a gentle spinal twist. So shift your hips a bit to your right to roll over onto the left hip. Knees drop to the left, right arm gently reaches out. Shoulder may or may not reach the ground, doesn't matter. If you need to make any adjustments on this twist, take care of your body. Feeling that long, fluid breath like you established at the very beginning of the practice. So the inhales are lengthening, filling yourself up. There's that little pause at the turnover. And the exhales, release, let go, create space, and there's a pause at the base of the exhale. And as you inhale, draw your legs back to center. Shift your hips a little bit over to your left, roll over onto that right hip, dropping the knees to the right, and gently reaching your left arm out. Super subtle twist. So in our yoga asanas, we work through the most outer layer, we call the gross body, the external. And then layer by layer, sheath by sheath, we drop into the subtle body, the intelligence, the wisdom. We return to the final, the Anandamaya Kosha, who we are at our core, our source. So as you inhale, draw the legs right back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Give them a little squeeze. And then we're going to set up for their final relaxation. So begin to release your legs out like we started. Let your thighs roll open. Let your arms drape alongside your body with your palms facing up towards the sky. Let your collarbones just soften towards the earth. Let the belly relax. Let the hinge of the jaw soften. So as we're all in our state of flux and change in so many different ways, we have this ending right here to ground us, to let things shed, to clear out the space for rebirth and new things to grow. So feeling the earth holding you and supporting you. Take a deep breath. Fill yourself up to the very, very top with that breath. Pause at the very top And as you exhale, let it slowly glide out. And as you let the breath glide out, just taking this time to rest, to let everything reset. No matter where you are on this planet, we are connected. So feeling that deep connection within, take this time as we rest into Shavasana. Very slowly start to make your way back. And as you deepen your breath, and starting to move your fingers and your toes, take this final pause, just attuning to your truth, perhaps placing one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. So we do our best to matter. What matters is how we align to our spirit, our truth, our purpose, our passion, the source of who we truly are. And this is the gift of yoga. Come home to your truth. And slowly start to reach your arms overhead and lengthen your legs. Take a nice long stretch, reach it out. And sweep your arms around, hug your knees into your chest, give them a little squeeze. And then start to rock up and down a few times. Maybe roll to your side. And then we'll all come up into a seated position. And once you make your way into the seat, right, sitting bones rooted on the earth, crown of the head lifting towards the sky, feeling that space, and taking your hands right to the heart. Now let's close the practice with a collective Om. Take a full deep breath. And with the heart lifted, we bow the head down, sealing it in with gratitude. And gently lift your head and open your eyes. Shanti, which means peace. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and joining me in this class. It really is such a gift and a pleasure and a joy to be with you.